Nationally ranked wrestlers Brandon and Christian Sinnott play a large role in the Central Michigan wrestling program, but it's the role of a very special couple that brought the boys from a difficult situation in Allen Park, Michigan, to current hopes of a national title.
I've said this many times to other people that I consider that my wife allowed me this opportunity to raise these two boys, and it's just been nothing but joy for me.
When Michael's adopted daughter was unable to care for her twin sons, he and Judith, without hesitation, adjusted their current retirement plans and got custody of the boys at the age of 2. But they soon found it wasn't the unexpected life change that posed the biggest problem.
The only thing we found difficult, as far as I can tell, in the raising of these boys was the racial implications in the community that we lived in. The community had a hard time with the racial issue.
However, the twins said those racial issues were never a concern in their family structure.
Amongst our peers that we felt the most judged, and we felt our race was a factor basically in school. But when we were home, it never felt that way at all.
Race was ever talked about.
The biggest concern for Michael and Judith was keeping up with two very energetic children.
We had a lot of adjustments to learning how to deal with kids that were always active in these kinds of activities. So we were always on the go with them, and that was not our normal lifestyle.
And the boys admit it was their wrestling mentality at a young age that kept their grandparents involved.
We were beating each other up, since we could walk.
And other kids too.
And other kids, and it wasn't like we were purposely trying to hurt others. It's just that was fun for us. It was fun to be so physical with people. We didn't understand, that you can't act like that all the time. And I think my grandpa had to replace probably about 100 of those, those plastic electrical sockets. Those things would get broken all the time. We would shove each other through the walls of our basement. Grandpa had to repair the walls all the time. And my grandma would come racing downstairs. No fighting, no fighting, no wrestling, no fighting, no wrestling. Because we were picking each other up, slamming each other down.
As they evolved from flying through doorways, Brandon and Christian began to realize the sacrifice that was made to give them a better life.
I think the big turning point in our lives was Christian and I felt that we weren't really giving 100% with everything that we were doing. We kind of felt like we were being lazy, and we looked back on our life and we just thought to ourselves wow, our grandparents, they really worked hard for us. Maybe it's about time that we start working hard for them.
They're old school, so that was day one. They were teaching us since we could walk, manners and morals and how to respect, especially women. With my grandma, you always respect women no matter what, and my grandpa is always respect yourself, respect your elders, respect each other.
And it was the success the boys have found on the mat that has come as a shock to Michael and Judith, who had no background in athletics.
I mean, we didn't say, oh, you got to be a state champ, or oh, you got to win all these matches, or oh, you got to do anything. They and their coaches apparently decided that they were good, and when people kept telling us, oh, these kids could be state champs, we would just go, what are you talking about? Who cares anyway?
And in their final year with Central, the boys say the first people they think are their parents.
No other relationship to call it, but they're our actual parents. Even though biologically they're not, but we don't look at it like that. We look at it as our grandpa is our father and our grandma is our mother, and we love them very deeply.
For News Central 34, I'm Jenn Chapman.